Hi, everybody. Welcome to this Q&A session for the first Monday of April of 2025. Like I said, I'm going to dive into a lot of data. Disclaimer, yes, this is listed on the TREIA website, but this is my personal opinions. These are my personal views of the real estate market. It has nothing to do with TREIA. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own due diligence, do your own research, and make sure that you verify the information that I tell you. With that, I told you already, you guys are sitting on mute. I appreciate it. Leave your comments, leave your questions in the bottom right corner in the note or chat option, and I'll dive into your question. This is a Q&A. I'm just here to answer your questions. We can go to 9 o'clock. We can go to 7:10. It all depends on you guys. So, but I want to kick off this evening with some data. I get my data from a really good, reliable source, and I want to show you the first step. So if you want similar data, or if you're interested in the data, then I recommend you guys follow Stacy and Vincent. I probably butcher his last name, but I get 90% of the data that I'm going to tell you tonight. I get it from his reports. A good friend of mine shared some data, and Stacy is doing a fantastic job, especially for this area here in Raleigh, the Durham, the greater Raleigh area, I would say, the Wake County, Durham area. So a few key points, then I'll dive into some additional tabs. But population in Wake County is up by 110%, and I'm getting my phone because tomorrow, if you follow me on Facebook, tomorrow I'm going to be posting an article that I just got, and that is that in 2030, North Carolina will be the 7th largest state in the country, largest meaning population-wise. Brunswick County is leading the charge with growth, and we will be reaching over 11 million people just in this state. So if you're worried about where North Carolina is growing, Brunswick County, Wake County is going to grow by 10%. So just look for that article to come out on my Facebook post tomorrow. But since 2007, the growth in our region here in Raleigh is up by 110%. Good news is, and the reason I wanted to dive into data is, I don't know if you guys saw the report from the NAR, and the National Association for Realtors, that nationwide home sales were down by 4.9%, almost 5%. And I was like, but I am not experiencing that. I have so far record sales. I already put 9 flips on the contract. These are not my rentals that I'm selling off to the side. These are really flips that I have on the market, not for investors, but for end buyers. And I'm putting a record amount of properties on the contract. And I was wanting to know, am I just an outlier, or is that what the entire market is seeing for Raleigh and Durham? According to the data, sales are up sales are up from January to February by 5%. Inventory is up. But inventory is still down by 85% compared to 2011. So yes, inventory is trending up in 2025, but we are still far behind from what the normal levels are. To be precise, the housing supply currently in the Wake County, Raleigh larger area is 2 months. 2 months is what the supply is, and a healthy market has around 3 to 4 months supply. Days on the market, we all think, we all got spoiled during COVID, where properties just flew off the market within a second. The average days on market is 48 days. I want to compare that to 2013. When I was in business then, or I was not even in business, but in 2013, I got in business in 2016. But in 2013, it was 4 months. 4 months that your property sat on the market, and that was the average days on market. So the 48 days, it seems longer than during COVID, but we can still not complain. Then as far as pending home sale numbers so far, February continues to be the same as last year. It's actually slightly down. It's down by 3% year over year, but it just continues to be the average. It just continues to be the same. Now, with that being said, I wanted to take a deeper dive into the markets. So what I did and what I always use is I use Redfin. So I just type in, I really go to Google and I type in Redfin and Fayetteville housing market data. And this is what I get. So what am I looking for here when I'm looking at this data? I don't care about the median sales price. Of course, it's nice to know that you're kind of hovering around the average sales price, but you really should determine your sales price by the neighborhoods. You can be over the median sales price, but far under your neighborhood sales price. So what I'm looking for is homes that have sold for the last 3 years. The one major key point and the major reason why I have pulled completely out of the Fayetteville market is that really since August of 2022, you see a downward trend, steeply going down in Fayetteville, that there's not a lot of homes currently selling in Fayetteville. And if you compare that of January of 2024, we sold, if you can see down here, you can see that we sold last year in Fayetteville, in January of 2024, we sold 208 homes. That is down 17.8% year over year. But if you compare that to 2025, we sold 169 homes. So we went from 208 to 169. So that's a steep drop of 39 properties that were not selling. And that's just the Fayetteville market. But again, Fayetteville, as you can see, is just continue to drop down. There's not really much activity there. Then I did that for the Raleigh market, right? I invest in Raleigh. So I wanted to know what is Raleigh doing. This is the greater Raleigh area. This is not downtown Raleigh. This is the greater Raleigh area. If you look in 2024, we sold 280 homes in around that time. And compare that to 2025, we see 300 homes. So we see an uptick of 19 homes year over year, or an uptick of 6.8% year over year. How do I use this market or data? Now I'll look at this data and say, oh, hold on, that market is trending up. I need to do some more research on this market because I want to know why is this going up and where is it going up. Winston-Salem, another market I invest in. Winston-Salem is trending down year over year. So Winston-Salem in January of 24 did 167 homes and currently is doing 166 homes. So it's slightly down 0.6%. And I did the same for Brunswick County, Wilmington area, an area where I recently started investing in with Lisa, who's on this call as well. Lisa, so in 2024, we did they sold 356 homes there, and now 348. So that is 8 homes less, kind of steady market there, right? But you see during the summer months, because everybody wants to go to the beach, during the summer months, you see a major uptick, and that it kind of continues to be the same year over year. Then we go to Apex. Apex in 24 did 80 homes, and we recently did 63 homes, so 17 homes down, or 21%. That's a big drop. So I want to know, if I invest in the Apex market, why and which neighborhoods are going down. And Cary, I can do the same thing for Cary. Cary is 83 last year and is now 103. Cary is majorly up, huge spike year over year, 24% increase in more homes sold year over year. Same thing over here. Wake Forest. Wake Forest did 43 homes last year, and now is doing 54 homes. So Wake Forest is trending up. Guys, that is data that you have access to. You just type in Redfin and type in your market and put in data. And there, use that data to your advantage, because you don't want to be in markets. Yeah, let's do another one, because I know a lot of people invest there. So look what I typed, Redfin. Housing, Rocky Mount, sorry. Can't even spell data. First link that you, oh, no, not the first. So then you go to the second link. There you go. This is Rocky Mount. Here we go again, Rocky Mount. January of last year, 36 homes sold. January of this year, 37 homes sold. So steady market, just going steady. So let's go to the paid reports that we're paying. Stacy, that does a fantastic job pulling all of this data. So as you can see on the top of the report, it says Wake County. So let me zoom in a little bit, by the way. And if you can see in Wake County, so year over year, Wake County, last year we sold 602 units. This year in Wake County, so that's Apex, that's Cary, that is Wake County, that is Wake Forest, Durham. No, that's Durham is Durham County, of course, but Mooresville, where I am at in Fuquay Farina, we are trending up 10% year over year. So what I am experiencing by selling more properties, according to this data, is correct. More people are experiencing that. Now, this report dives into a whole lot more. The average home sales price in Wake County went up from 437 to 460. The average square foot price went up from 225 to from 222 to 225. There's a lot of data in here. Closing date. We are currently as sellers, as you can see, we are having to make concessions. Our offer to list price is going down, so we're having to come down from our list price. Days on the market is increasing, as you can see here as well. And then housing that have no change, so slightly a few changes in housing prices as far as when they put it on the market. And then I dove into new construction. For those that are in new construction like myself, the data is not really good. The data is not favorable, and I'll show you here in a second. These are the markets where the new listings are sold. Of course, green is where the most activity is, red is where the least activity is. But here is, if you're a builder like I am and you're just stepping into the building market, this is not what you want to see, right? New homes that have sold are down by 4% year over year. That can pick up. Hopefully they will pick up as I a builder. This is where you see the biggest purchases as far as price-wise, right? Like if you are in the 400,000 range, below the 500,000 range, you will sell most likely. You have an easier time selling. 26% of the homes, new builds that were around the 400, below the 500 range, sold there. Again, how many concessions and of how many? What was the average price of the homes that closed for under 60? The average sales price per square foot for the new construction was 206. Now, then I took it. Then I look at the report. Where are most of the new home builds happening? Well, everything where it's red, and I'll zoom in a little bit to show you. But everything where it's red, I can zoom in. Clayton is over here. Wendell, Zebulon, Wake Forest, Youngsdale over here. North Valley, Fuquay Farina, Anger, where my area, Apex. This is where you see the most activity as far as building permits. So this is, if you're a builder, this is where the hot areas are. This is where people are building. And then here, if you are in the luxury market, 800,000 and up, this is the data as well. So you see that the luxury sales are up a little bit from 98 units to 117, or 19% difference. The 1 million plus sales are up from 48% to from 42 units to 58 units. You see that the average square foot price is going up from 272 to 281. There's not much negotiation going on in the new build. Days on the market is creeping up, similar to the rest. I want to show you this stat here. Where was it? If you're in a luxury build and you want to build houses that are close to 1 million, what is this data telling you? That if you are around 800,000 but below 900,000, 33% of those units were sold in that price range. Then you see a steep drop to 900,000, and you see an incredible steep drop from 1 million to 1.1 million, it's about 9%. So if you're selling anything over 900,000 and below 1.3 million, that's is already a tougher area. If you go over 1.3 million, you're really getting into a difficult market here. All right, so I just threw up a lot of data on you, but I wanted to highlight that yes, I hear that the NAR is saying that nationwide pending home sales are down 4.9%. But I also want to highlight to you that real estate is a national thing, 100%, but it's a very local thing. Focus on your local data, focus on your local influences, what is happening in your market and what is impacting the real estate data. Because you saw a major uptick in Cary, and just around the corner in Apex, right? In Apex, listings are down 21%, but in Cary, listings are up 24%. So there's a major, just in 5 miles difference, there's a major difference in activity as far as real estate. With that being said, thank you guys for joining. Now I'm going to open it up for Q&A. If you're just joining, sit on mute, put your questions in the notes section or raise your hands. Do whatever you need to do to get my attention, and I'll make sure to answer your questions. Based on the data, before I go into the chat, based on the data that I just shared with you, are there questions, concerns, or anything that you want to ask me or address? Bipin is asking, where did I get the data? The data that I got is from Stacy and Finchen. Here, let me share his Facebook page again. This is the guy. Connect with him on Facebook. He does YouTube videos. Connect with him. Sign up for his report. Ask him for a link to your report. But the data that I just shared was all paid for. He does do free data on his Facebook page, as you can see here. He does YouTube videos. Incredible data for our region. Highly recommend you guys reach out to him and see how you can get a hold of the information. Anybody? Any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah, PK.
Yeah, I was just curious, like, so for fix and flip, like the market, some of the market you said that should be the, still they're doing good, like Winston-Salem, Wilmington, Raleigh area, right? Those are the market focus for a fix and flip, maybe.
And any type of resale, right? Like we saw that those markets, Winston-Salem is flat, so the same activity as last year as this year. Which that doesn't have to mean per se that is a good thing, because we also knew that last year was 2024. We sold as many homes or as few homes as 1995. So we had a 30-year low. But Winston-Salem is flat, and what I pointed out is that Fayetteville continues to drop down as far as pending home sales.
Yeah, still probably you want to be in a safer place and maybe more dense, like more populated area, like you want to be multiple economies supporting that, like places like Triangle, Winston-Salem, perhaps.
Yeah, so I'm really starting to focus with my business on the high traffic area, high dense population, where competition of buying a property is a little bit higher.
Yeah.
I'm trying to steer away from secondary markets, the smaller markets, just to have more competition for my flips. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Sounds good.
Yep. Elizabeth, you raised your hand.
Hi.
Hi.
I have it's more like your opinion. So I've been looking for, I look every day for real estate, personal.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the difference of new houses versus old houses, that the prices are almost the same.
Mhm.
Not almost the same, but there's not much of a difference.
Yeah.
So what is your take on that? Like when, like, let's say if I'm shopping for a residential, like
Mhm.
how can I go about, like I can request, let's say, a good amount down because it's an old house and compares to a new house? How you address that?
Is this for a rental or for your personal?
No, personal.
Personal. So let me just give you a few differences between old and new, and hoping to answer your question that way. If I was a home buyer in this market, where if I'm already, we know that the affordability level currently is very low, right? There's not a lot of people that can afford um, the same price of houses during COVID, because the interest rates are lower. If I was to look for a new home, knowing that the interest rates are still high, yes, they have come down. They are currently at a 15-month low, around the 6.8%. I personally would choose a new home. And why is that? Home builders have a larger margin on their homes than a flipper, or than a regular home, than a mom and pop that is trying to sell their home, right? So you can negotiate a little bit more. You can negotiate that the seller is buying down some of your rate. On top of that, home builders, depending on the home builder you go with, home builders give you a 3, 5, or 7 year warranty on your home. So you have a crack in your wall, they come and fix it. Your AC goes out, they come and fix it. There are certain issues that they will come and fix for you within the first years that you own a new build. If your budget is already maxed out, and your monthly payment is kind of on the top of what you can afford, then it might be nice knowing that the big ticket items of your house are currently under warranty. You don't care that your HVAC goes out. You don't care that your new roof starts leaking, because it's all under warranty. Now, of course, with a older home, you come into a neighborhood that's more established. You have older trees, you have some history, and the buyer might have done some of the upgrades that you're looking for, like electric and plumbing and stuff like that. If not, if you're buying an older home, make sure that you know what is the plumbing situation. Is it galvanized piping, or is it old wire? Is it new wire? Is it new PVC? Right? You need to know those things. But if I was to be a buyer in this market, I most likely would pick a new build because of the warranties that a builder can offer me.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Any other questions from other people? Like I said, I'm here to answer your questions. We can go to 9 o'clock. We can go to 7:30. I hope not. I hope it will be 9 o'clock. But yeah.
Hey, Eric, this is Vineet. Can I add for Elizabeth? Even these new builders, they are able to offer a lower rate of interest because they buy down rates in bulk as well. So their rates are more competitive if you use their lenders as well.
Yeah.
So just wanted to add that.
Yeah, very good. If you go with one of the larger national builders, they have preferred lenders, and they can, or they have so much profit on their house, they say I'll buy down your rate a little bit. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions about investing, about personal? Brian.
Yeah, Eric, I really, I found that quite interesting. I've been going and using homes.com, Redfin, and stuff like that, but I've never have really gotten into what I just saw with you with Redfin, and that was extremely helpful for somebody newer in the industry looking with their business partner, where he can look on one part of the state and I can look on the other. So I really found that interesting, and I took a lot of notes in a short time. So I do
Thank you.
appreciate that input, and I'd really like to start following you. So thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Thanks for the feedback, Brian. Yeah, and I wish that data was available when I started investing in 2016. So use it to your advantage, right? We all know that, and again, that article that I post tomorrow, we all know that Brunswick County is going to grow. It's projected to grow 15%, 15%. Like, growth is going to be there. There are deals there. Lisa and I picked up two homes in Brunswick County. This past, or we're closing one next week. We closed one this past week, and if I do a flip there, if my CMA holds true and my repair budget holds true, then I make $46,000 profit on that flip. So there are still deals that are available. I have said since August of last year, I have said this is the time to buy. This is, the people are scared. People are a little skittish. You see that activity is slowly picking up again, but this is the time to buy. We are at the beginning of a next 10-year cycle in real estate. You're going to be looking at 2025 and scratch your head and you'd be like, why did I not buy more property? Right? Like, I look at my investments in 2016 when I bought properties in Durham for $50,000, $60,000. If I knew what I know now, I would have bought all of East Durham, and I will be laughing now. But I truly think that we're going to be looking back at 2025 and say, oh my gosh, I wish I was able to buy more properties at that price.
So, Erik, are you guys looking to buy and hold more, or what? Buy and flip it? What is your fancy, so to speak? To buy and hold, the passive income, or what?
So, a really good question, and I have for the last few months I've been saying that it is harder for me to make buy and hold work. As a matter of fact, I see that properties that I purchased pre-COVID, I can still cash flow anything that I bought during COVID, 2020, and by the end of COVID, 2020, 2023. It is really hard for me to still make sense of a cash flow, right? Like, we all saw the news that our insurances for anybody that owns a property in North Carolina and that didn't think that what happened in Western North Carolina or what is happening in California, right, with the wildfires, and now there's wildfires in Myrtle Beach going on. And if we think that those don't have an impact on us, they have, because insurance rates, and bear with me because it's insurance rates will go up by 15%, 15%. So 7.5% this year, 7.5% next year. And that is, oh gosh, I wish I had that article. There was an article this weekend that Durham property owners will see an incredible increase in home value because the Durham County reappraised all properties and property taxes are going to go up. So it is, for me, it is incredible hard and difficult to make the numbers work. So I'm peeling a little bit back from buy and hold. That's why I'm selling so many of my rentals. I do that on lease option. I do that on owner finance terms. But for me, it becomes a little bit more difficult to make my rentals cash flow. So I'm doubling down on fix and flips. I'm doubling down on new builds. I said last May, I'm a builder. I had never built a property. I have done 20 flips a year, including apartment buildings. But currently, I'm building 16 homes in downtown Raleigh and 3 homes in Durham, because I'm despite the fact that Trump is going to raise tariffs on Canada and Mexico tomorrow, I still believe that fix and flips and new builds is the way forward for me. Good question. All right, other question on the chat. So let's go into Bipin. Where do you find your data? I shared that. Patty is asking how to start fix and flips. Do you have a mentor? Fix and flips. Yeah, fix and flips are easy. No, I did not had a mentor when I got started. Let me show you. And if you email me at Erik. Yeah, let me put my email in the chat. I can give you this Excel sheet. It is super simple. I'm a simple guy. I'm not high tech guy, but I created an Excel sheet that I can share with anybody, and I'm talking about this point at TREIA at the Lunch and Learn for Carrie in March, and I'm talking about this in Rocky Mount for TREIA as well. When you evaluate a property, you need 3 data points. You need a purchase price, you need an ARV, and you need a rehab. So I created this Excel sheet, and if I fill out these 3 data points that are listed here in green, I know my profit. So for example, on this particular property here, what I did here is I know the ARV, I know the rehab budget, so that is going to be my offer price if I wanted to make $26,000 profit. And how do I calculate that? My fix and flip loans that I'm getting from my lenders are 12% with 2 points. And I know people are going to call me crazy. I say it all the time when I have these Q&As. I calculate a realtor fee at 8%. I know it's 5, I know it's 6, but I want to aim high because I have property taxes, I have attorney fees, I have a utility fee. So I want to aim it at 8%. My average closing cost or holding cost on top of everything else are around 8%. So I calculated at 8%. If I fill out these 3 numbers, right? Like I just deleted it and everything went to 0. So if I know that they're asking me $180,000 for a property, my rehab budget is $35,000, and my ARV is $240,000, I am losing $9,000. Right? That's all. Like if a wholesaler sends me a deal and he says, oh, I'm asking 180. And the property needs $35,000 in rehab, and it has an ARV of 240. I'm like, great, doesn't work for me. I'm losing $10,000. I need to be at 10% of the ARV. So in this case, I need to be at $145,000 to make those numbers work. But Erik, I can find deals. I just told you I picked up 2 properties in Brunswick County in Wilmington that make me $46,000 each profit. One makes me $46,000. The other one makes me $27,000. I have to be precise. So it's still doable. The deals are still out there. And then that goes to Elizabeth's question. Which county? County is Brunswick County, Wilmington. And then it goes to Carrie. Where do you find most of your deals? These days, it's the MLS. These days it's MLS and wholesalers. I don't care what wholesalers make. I give them my offer, what makes sense for me. The wholesaler, I say this all the time, and I hope he's on this call. I hope he's doing well. The wholesaler that I purchased my beach house from made $80,000 on my purchase. But I offered him a price that worked for me. And I have $250,000 equity on my beach house. So I'm excited that that wholesaler made $80,000. I don't care. Stop caring about what other people make, because if people are asking you to hold that asset, then you need to offer a purchase price that you can afford. Don't worry about what the other people's making. You hope that other person is making a lot of money, because where are they going to go if they make a lot of money off of you? They're coming back to you. Patty is asking how to estimate cost and where do you get manpower to fix it? I'm going to start with the last portion of your question, how to find manpower. If you go to Facebook, let me go to Facebook. If you go to Facebook and you just click here and you say, I'm looking for plumber, painter, anything you're looking for, and you type it here, you make it a nice color and do it red, and you say the area, just sit back and receive the DMs that are coming into your inbox, and then just connect with those people and just say, okay, what type of project have you done? Can you show me some pictures? Can you share a link of a property that is currently on the market that you have worked on? And then you're going to start slow with that person. You're going to call that person. You're going to say, let me use Brian. Brian is my contractor, and Brian says, "Oh, Erik, I can do it all. I'm fantastic." I'm like, "Brian, you're my man. We're going to do it." But I said, "Brian, I only need painting." I'm going to start small with Brian because Brian has to earn my trust, and I have to earn Brian's trust. So I'm saying, "Okay, Brian, go paint this wall for me, or go paint this house." And Brian comes to me and says, "Erik, I need $50,000 up front." Okay, Brian, good luck. That is not going to be 50,000. You're first going to get a quote, and you never, ever pay somebody ahead of the job. Now, if Brian says, "Hey, Erik, I'm a little shy for money," which can happen. That happens to the best of us. "Hey, Erik, I'm shy for money. I need money to buy supplies." Brian, go to Lowe's, go to Sherwin-Williams, call me when you're in line, and I'll pay for it. When Brian hands the phone over to Sherwin-Williams member, you say, "Hey, Elizabeth." Elizabeth is now working for Sherwin-Williams. "Hey, Elizabeth, can I get an overview of what Brian is trying to purchase?" "Oh, Brian is purchasing a drill too and a screwdriver." "All right, Elizabeth, can you take that off of the receipt? I'm not paying for that, but I'm paying for all the rest." Make sure you ask the employee of that store what is on the receipt. You'd be surprised how many supplies that contractor all of a sudden has to buy for your job. You're not responsible for their material, right? And you're not paying until the job is done. That's all you do. And how to get an estimate on cost. Always get a written estimate in your email. This past weekend, a good plumber of mine did a really good job for me in Laurenburg, and he WhatsApped me a picture. I'm like, "Hey man, you know how it works. Put it in my email, because if I look on it on WhatsApp, if I look on it in text message, I can't search it anymore. And with 20 flips, if I have to go through every single text message to find what I need to find, it is impossible. Put everything in your emails. Just say, "Hey, email me that invoice and I'll pay you straight away." And they send it straight away. If you can't be at the job site, make sure you get pictures, a lot of pictures. You want to get at least 3-4 pictures of each room that have the ceiling, the floor, and the walls. You want to make sure that by looking at the pictures, you see the entire room. I'm not sure if that was an answer, but that's how I do it. And every new contractor that I onboard, I do the same way. I call them, say, "This is how I work. Are you okay with that?" "No? Okay, Brian, I appreciate you. I wish you the best, but this is how I do business. If you can't do that, then that's fine. I'll have to look for somebody else." Don't be nasty. This is how you do work, and this is how you organize your work. And if that doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Brian, you got a question? Oh, you're on mute.
I'm so sorry. Thank you so
Hey.
much for bringing that
Yeah.
to my attention. So for large jobs or anything like that, do you give them any kind of draw, like X amount, every 30 days, give them a little something to keep it going? I mean, you don't expect a contractor to be paying all his people out of his pocket, do you? I'm just
On large job, I pay every week, but
that's what I meant on a weekly.
well,
That's what, yeah.
a line item for me needs to be done first. So when I do a flip, so let's go. Let's just pull up the property. Here we go. Let's go to Zillow, and I'll talk to you about it.
Because I
So-
was thinking, until you said that, I was thinking, well, I would pay, weekly or every other week, something like that. But yeah, you're just talking about like, hey, I need for supplies and stuff like that when they go to Lowe's or they go to the window place to, something like that.
Brian,
Correct.
Brian, I would assume that that's after you earn the trust of that guy, right?
Yeah.
Not on the first one, right? I don't think you would do that in the first one,
Yeah,
right, Eric?
correct. To Bibby's point, right? You don't want to go do a large job with somebody that you don't know. But
Exactly.
despite two contractors that I've been with for a lot of years, nobody gets paid ahead of time. There's two contractors. They do the entire job based on 4 draws. 4 draws. So they get money in the beginning. They get money at 30% done. They get money at 75% done, and then they get their final payment after the property's on the market, after the real estate agent approved it. But let's talk about this project. This is the project I bought last week. You can't hardly see it, but in Wilmington. So the way I do it here is, this is a wrong example. I'm doing it with, I do it with a contractor again. That's one of the two contractors that gets 4 payments. This project cost $141,000 entire rehab budget. I did this with PK, who's on the call. PK and I did this one. This guy did not get paid until a line item was done. So what PK and I did on this one, and I will be talking about this one during the lunch and learn for TREIA, because we made a lot of mistakes on this project. One thing we didn't do wrong is the draw process. So when you buy a property like this, you get a very rough estimate. Just ask your contractor, go look at a property and give me an estimate that holds, it needs to hold true. If it's $70,000, it needs to be $70,000 on the end, but give me just a basic number. All right, $70,000. After you're on the contract and now you have a closing date, you go back to your contractor and you say, can I get a detailed line item by line item invoice from you, or quote? Because here's what you're going to do, and it has saved me so many times. If that contractor comes to you and says, the floors are done, I want $10,000, you go to your invoice and you say, but on your invoice it was $8,000, so I'm only going to pay you $8,000. It happened to me in Rocky Mount. I mean, I can basically tell almost every project where I started with a guy and they left. This one in Rocky Mount in particular was yeah. Anyway, he had quoted me $6,000 for floors. When he was done, he wanted $12,000. And I said, I'm sorry, where was it based on? And can you show me that I approved a change order? Because things can happen. We can adjust pricing. They might open the floor. There might be a wood rot. But change orders need to be emailed to me. Don't need to be texted to me. And he could not show a change order. I had not approved a change order, so I only gave him the original $6,000 and not $12,000. Needless to say, he never showed up again and never worked for me again. But that's what you want to do. You want to protect yourself. You want to have a line item invoice. Flooring, this. Don't get an invoice that says 00000 for every line item, and then on the bottom it says $65,000. How do you know how to pay the guy? So Brian, I'm okay with paying people on a weekly basis as long as they finish a line item. Because otherwise, if you start paying them on a weekly basis, you might be ending up paying $12,000 for the particular floor.
Okay. So I understand exactly what you're saying. I just, put a major emphasis on the, get the line item quote and the invoice.
And you will,
I took that to heart. Me and my partner,
and you will see
we're
speeds will
taking
pick
that
up
to
as
heart.
well. Right, like if it's Thursday and they want to get paid tomorrow and they're almost done with painting, they're gonna work Thursday evening to get that painting done because they know you're not gonna pay
With
them.
the payday. Yeah.
And it took me, like, I worked with very honest, good people that just needed to get paid on a weekly basis, right? It took me a little bit to get. Yeah, I lost a few contractors, but it took me a little bit to change my business. Say no, it's line item now. It's line item now, right? And I lost a few good contractors, but it is what it is. I need to protect my my investors, and I need to protect my investment. So it's going to be line item based.
And I do like your deal calculator compared to some of those that we have found. I mean, it's pretty easy, straightforward instead of
Just three numbers.
all
Just-
these other
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
It's three
Thank you.
three numbers. The
I'm a simple
percentage,
guy.
the points. Yeah.
I'm blonde, so I need to keep it simple for myself. So email me and you get a copy, and you can use it,
we will.
download it for yourself. Yeah.
Thank you.
Eric,
I
quick
think-
question.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people who used to do a lot of flips and things like that. They have kind of moved away, including yourself and John Ford and other people, into either in the new constructions or buy and hold kind of things, like buy, flip it, like and hold kind of things. Why is that? What is changing? Because I know I listened to John Ford. He's 2 years ago, everything was flip loans. Now,
Yeah.
less than 30% is his flip loans. Where is those people have gone, or where do this? What has changed that business model?
So for me, two things. Thank you for that question. For me, it is two things. Buy sellers are asking too much, and the profit is higher when I do a new build. So let me give you the numbers on this project. I own this house. It's in downtown Raleigh. Man, let me just go. Let me just go all out. All right, let me just go. All right. I'm going to show you the entire project, and I give you all the numbers. This project came to me through a wholesaler on a Monday, and I ran the numbers to take off the roof, go to the back, and make it larger, and I was going to make $80,000. But I had to lift up the roof, add another floor on, and go to the back. So I wasn't really excited about it. And then a good friend of mine said, and then I lost the deal. Somebody else put it on the contract. And I got really, and then a friend of mine said, Eric, you should have done a new build there and you would have made a killer. That would be the home run. Luckily, the deal fell out of contract again and I got it back and I closed within a week. So if I did this as a single family home, I would make $80,000. $80,000 is really good money, right? There's a lot of people that don't make that. But on a project like that, that's a lot of risk, right? So here is now what we're doing. Let me change my screen. So if I build a new build, if I go the new build route, I am all in it for $1 million holding cost, attorney cost, permit cost, lending cost, all my cost. I am in it for $1,090,000. That's what I'm in it for. I got a survey done. Here's a survey of the entire land. As you can see, we're going to be building 2 units there. This is in the high transit area, and this is what I will be building. 2 units. It's considered a condo. I'm going to have to create an HOA. The land is not going to be split. If I do a fee simple structure, which I can in Raleigh, it will take up to 12 months to get that done. So I don't have the patience to wait for that. So we're going to be building this townhome that is 2 units. It's a duplex townhome. Each unit, conservatively, each unit will sell. There are 2,000 square feet. Each unit will sell for $825. So my sales price on this entire project is $1.65 million, right? So $1,650,000. So that is a profit for me of $590,000. I split it with my builder who takes 20%. So I walk away with $340,000, and I am only having to be the money guy while my GC, who's part of the project, does all the work, does all the permits, and that's it. So to answer your question, Bibi, it is profit, and a flip takes a new build almost takes as long as a new build. This one takes a little bit longer because we're doing permits, but a good flip of mine, that property that I just showed you in Jacksonville, that 609, that took me 6 months. This project, start to finish, will also take me 6 to 7 months. So if I'm in it for the same amount of time, why would I not go for a higher profit deal, right? So it is profit, and it is time. I still do flips because I think flips are just a quick flip. I do a quick flip, nice, and put a few $1,000s in your pocket and move on. But beside that, I'm doing new builds as well.
Okay, thanks.
I'm not sure if that was a good answer, but yeah, that's the honest answer.
So that's where they're getting this. They're buying they're buying the tear down, right?
Yeah, tearing this property down cost me $10,000, maybe $15,000.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and you're using the land to build new one, so that's good.
Yeah, and if anybody wants old doors, just hit me up. I give you the code. You can go pick up the old doors of this property. Beautiful old property. I won't be using it, so there are some nice old doors in there. So feel free. We will be demoing. The demo permit has been issued. So yeah. Anything else? Any other questions? These are really good questions, and I hope they're helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the new build, so you have, I'm assuming you have, so the way you plan it is you have, who gives you the, you contract an architect or interior designer to do the plans?
You need to have architectural drawings and engineering drawings. So yeah, you need to have an architect firm to draw up the plans. Correct.
Okay, so then do you use one builder, or you have different builders that you or you have a relationship with one?
Yeah, I like, similar as my lenders, I like to diversify. I did that 4 years ago. I had a property manager, and it was such a great property manager until it wasn't. So that property manager managed several of my rentals in different cities. And then that property manager became not a great property manager. So now I had an issue, not in one city with my rentals. I had now in multiple cities, I had issues with my rentals. So what I told myself, the lesson that I learned from that is that I want to diversify. So in each city, Rocky Mount, Raleigh, Fayetteville, Winston-Salem, I have different agents. I have different crews. I have a whole different team. Because if my team in Winston-Salem fails me, my business in Durham, in Raleigh, in Rocky Mount will continue. So I want to diversify. You want to diversify lenders. You want to diversify contractors. You don't want to rely on one source because you put your business at risk, right? So make sure you diversify. Kari, I thought you were on mute. I hope I don't butcher your name, but you're asking me what your builder price per square feet usual. Have you found trouble finding good surveyors? Oh, you must have had a camera here in my office today, because surveyors, yeah. He is good, but it goes a little bit slower than I anticipated. So my surveyor sent me a final invoice today. I'm like, I am not paying it until you have submitted and we have approved a final survey map. So do a lot of interviews. Make sure that you also, with your surveyor, that they know the code restrictions for the city you're building in. Every city is different. Durham is completely different than Raleigh. So make sure you ask him a lot of questions like you do with your contractors. What is your build per square foot? I am building in 5.3, $1.2 million homes. So my cost to build there are $200 per square feet. Here on Cotton Place, I am building 4,000 square feet for 540, so 540,000 divided by 4,000, that is 135,000 per square feet. So it all depends on, are you entry level, are you are you high end, but it's somewhere between 135 to 200 per square foot. For future. I have another question. I have a question on hard money lenders. Question for properties. You mentioned you pay 12% and 2 points. Can you share details on how that works? Yeah, absolutely. So if I get a loan, let's keep it easy. I'm blunt. If you get a loan for $100,000, right? Mm-hmm. Over the course of that loan, you're going to be paying 12% annually. So that's $12,000 per year. But if you hold the loan only for 6 months, you'll be paying $6,000. Mm-hmm. Then 2 points are charged on the end. So 2 points really means 2%. Mm-hmm. So that means you pay another $2,000 at closing for that loan, if that makes sense.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So it's normally annually, and then if you hold it for 9 months, you pay $9,000. If you know the math, right?
Gotcha. And it's on the entire sale value of the home. So let's say I'm buying 100,000 or 300,000. It's 12 points plus 2 of whatever that value you're borrowing is, right?
Correct. But you said earlier the sales price. No, it's how much you borrow, right?
Yeah, how much you borrow.
Yeah.
How about whatever on the rehab costs, you're all in, right? You want to package it all in. Okay.
Correct. And if you decide that, okay, hey, we're going to buy this home for 100,000 now, and I'm not, lenders. So if you join TREIA, there are a lot of lenders that can help you. And if you, as a matter of fact, by the way, I got to give a plug. If you guys are looking for lenders, contractors, builders, all of that, March 13th, TREIA is having a vendor fair. Christopher is already going to be there. Is having a vendor fair. If you're looking for contractors, that's where we have 27 or 30 people or vendors that are going to be there that are looking for, hey, I need more lenders, contractors, anybody. Anyway, if you buy a house,
I was very confused when I tried to approach a couple of lenders and they sent me their quotes. It's like the closing costs were very confusing to me. It almost seemed like there was way too many fees there.
So it depends on. So I'm talking about hard money lenders. If you're going to traditional lenders, you will have escrow that they put in. So taxes and insurance, that they want to have that up for a year. They want to have some income reserve. Depending on the lender you go with, they want to be charged 1.5% of the loan amount. That's their profit. And then they have another 0.5% of fees. They have appraisal fees. They have closing docs and all of that good stuff. Hard money guys should be very straightforward. If you're going with some of the money lenders that are associated or that are sponsors or partners with TREIA, it's pretty straightforward. They don't look at you. They don't look at your income. They say, okay, Nav is looking to buy a property that is worth 300,000. The lender wants to stay at 70% of 300,000. So 300,000 times 70. They don't go over to 210,000. NAV is requesting a loan for 100,000 to purchase and 80,000 to rehab. That's under the 70%. We're going to give the entire amount. Now, the entire amount is not given to you at closing. No, they will be giving you, or they will give the closing attorney enough money to buy the property. And the $80,000 is given to you when you prove that the work is done. So you spend $10,000 on a contractor, you can request that. Hard money lenders will only reimburse you if you have spent more than $10,000. So get a good credit card. Get your air miles, right? I normally don't tell you to get a credit card to do real estate. Don't understand me wrong, but if you know that your lender is going to pay you and you're strapped for money, get a good credit card, put everything on a credit card. When the lender pays you, pay off your credit card, you get your air miles, and then do that again and do it again until the project is done.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, I got a little bit of capital there. I just didn't understand, like when I submitted my request for the total amount, they didn't come back for the total amount. So your 70%, what you said makes sense. They didn't want to fund the whole amount.
Correct. Okay. And they don't tell you, but stay at 70 or lower percent.
Okay, so I got to adjust, right? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brian raised his hand, and then we go to Elizabeth. Brian.
I'm sorry. Real quick, do you offer your contractor like any kind of incentive to finish on time or before?
No.
You don't? Okay, just asking. Thank you. That was a
I've tried that. It's never worked, and I know some people have really good success with it. I just never. That's why I do it by the week. If you want to get, or by line item, if you want to be paid that week, finish your line item. Otherwise, you don't get paid. Elizabeth, if it's 100, if it's 0, pay it off when you get profit. Pay it off. If it's 0%, pay it off when you get profit paid off. Yeah.
Must be a credit card, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, talking about credit cards. And you guys are asking some really good questions, so I'm really appreciate it. Any other questions that you guys might have?
Hey, Eric, I don't know if you got this or not, but I put in the chat. So does your builder, does he charge, well, if he was to build for somebody else outside of you, what is his normal rate for price per square foot? I'm running into like 150 sometimes on a high on the normal end, 170 on the higher end. And then also, how has it been? I mean, I know you also use a builder when it comes to finding surveyors.
So 150 to 170, that is normal. My builders do normally cost plus 20. That means they will get it for $100 per square foot, but they charging 20% additional. And to me, and again, this is how I want to run my business. Again, my business is set up, as you can hear, I'm not from North Carolina. I'm from Amsterdam. So my business is set up that if push comes to shove, or if I want to pick up my bags now and want to be with my family in the Netherlands, that I can go there. I don't want to have a daytime job, although I end up working a lot of hours according to my kids, right? But I don't want to be a GC. I don't want to be a realtor. I want to dictate my own schedule. So I choose to go for builders that build plus cost. So cost plus whatever fee that's on top of that. So if you're in the range of 130, 150, that is very good. Make sure that is cost plus. They call that cost plus there, whatever fee it is. And then surveyors, I find them to my builders. I find them through Facebook. I find them to my architects, right? Like if you're looking for a drywall guy, you're going to ask your painter. Because your painter never wants to go behind a drywall guy that screws up. If you're looking for a foundation guy, you're asking your flooring guy. Because a flooring guy never wants to go behind a foundation guy that doesn't do a good job, because then he has to do more work, right? So if you want to find a good surveyor, you ask your architect, because architects and surveyors often work together.
So, question: how does the builder get paid? I mean, okay, he said this is
Cost
the
plus.
cost.
Cost
Yeah,
plus.
but do you pay at the end of the project, or do you pay
No.
like?
Every invoice is already higher, right? Like you get your line items.
Oh, okay. So he's going to be treated just like a contractor.
Yeah.
Like when you build a foundation, this is the line item for foundations, and then you pay for that foundation.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when you're trying to do a build, do you recommend to use your own money or to take the lender? I know 30% we have to have our own money, but anything more, if I have one, or you take from home equity or those kind of things, or just do the hard money.
I would purchase the land with my own money and then get a loan for 60% of the purchase price of the lot and get the entire rest of the build financed.
Okay, so 50% of the lot,
60.
maybe 60, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the rehab financed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because a lender is going to only fund you from foundation up. And that's where I'm getting a lot of gray hair right now, and where some of my anxiety comes in, or some of my, it's an unknown world for me. I've always done fix and flips, like if I spend the money, right? Like if I spend $20,000 on the contractor, then I'll be able to get it back. Here, because I'm doing 16 builds, sorry, just the architect drawings for one project with 3 homes. Just the architect drawings cost me $40,000. I cannot request it from a lender because I don't have a foundation yet. So it's foundation up. So when you do new builds, you want to make sure that you're very liquid financially. So my advice, and I don't know the numbers on your project, so I'm going off a general suggestion. My suggestion would be is like buy the land if you can afford that. Buy the land with your money. And then get a lender to say, hey, I already own the land. Can you finance some of the land and the entire build? And they'd be very happy to do that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Marianne is asking, you mentioned credit cards. Are there any banks in the North Carolina that would recommend for real estate business? And if so, why? Marianne, I don't know. Is it for DSCR? Is it for? I mean, Chase Bank is really easy to give you a credit card with some credit if you have a business. I think 3 to 4 months, and they already give you. I have one for 50,000 that day, and it goes. The reason I say that, it goes against your EIN and not against your social security number.
Mm-hmm.
But like People's Bank or. There's other banks that I can mention are good for DSCR. So are you looking for flips, or what are you looking for?
Well, for flips, I might get into the wholesaling. Basically, I hear people talking about the importance of ACH and wires. So I'm thinking maybe I need to look at a bank that maybe I need to compare prices based on that, based on the things that real estate investors use most.
Benchmark, like Lasoya is saying, is indeed a good bank for DSCR, but yeah, Chase Bank is the easiest to get business credit. I don't find them as easy in the paperwork portion. What I mean with that is I'm having to make some changes to my accounts because, I sold out my business partner. I got my business partner and I decided not to do business anymore. And it's like pulling teeth. It is really, I've been trying to go since November now, trying to change some of the paperwork. They're horrendous for that, but they're really easy in giving you a credit card. Like I literally walked in and said, "Hey, what type of credit card can I get?" He's like, "What are you looking to spend every week?" I said, $25,000. He goes, "Here's a card for $20,000." I'm like, "Okay, great." Right. Now I had an account already with them for a year, so you want to establish a card, but Chase is good for credit cards. Yeah. I have an Amex card because I use that to get fly miles. Lasoya is saying First Citizen. I got a business line of credit to First Citizen. Good bank. Thank you, Lasoya. He's giving us good tips here. So First Citizen, I got a credit card, business line of credit through. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Patty's asking, do you have separate LLCs for new builds and for flips? Yes. So if you talk to your CPA, and again, all I'm saying today, I want to reiterate that because we have been going for a little over an hour. All I'm saying today is for entertainment purposes only. Please verify with your own CPA, attorney, or professional. Yes. So I have 7 companies, and my name is in none. Well, and my one company is the owner of all the other companies. So it's not me that is the owner of 6 companies. I only own one company. One company is the holding company. That one company owns all 6 other companies. So I have a company for rentals. I have a company for short-term rentals. I have a company for flips. I have a company for flips and new builds. And I'm per my CPA advice, I'm separating all of those. It's easier for bookkeeping. It makes it easier for taxes. Now, why do I have a pyramid structure? That is for protection. Each of my company have their own liability and umbrella policy on top of a property insurance. And so when you sue me in one company and I don't have enough funds or insurance, it goes to my next company, and that company has, again, an umbrella and liability policy. So you need to sue me for over $10 million before you're getting into my assets. That's how I have it set up. People do it through Wyoming. People do it through the Dakota, South Dakota. There's different states you can do it through. I decided to keep it all in North Carolina, and I rather pay an umbrella and liability policy, and that's how I have set up. Christopher, I appreciate you joining. So that's how I do it. But there's different ways of setting it up. But you do want to separate, if you can, you do want to separate the different investment strategies through different LLCs.
How about different rentals? If I have 5 rentals, do you recommend to put all in 5 different ones, or like?
Nah, why paying $200 a year to file a new LLC? Like, I know people are doing it. I know that there's people putting rentals in their own name. I would never do that either. That's just a personal preference. But for me to open an LLC per property, that means I have to pay $200 per year on top of tax, on top of my taxes, on top of yeah, and that annual filing that you have to do now. So,
but many times when you buy the rentals, you take the loan as a personal loan, right? Now,
personal guarantee.
No. What I'm saying is, let's say I have 4 properties that I have rented out, right?
Yeah.
And I've taken regular loan for those, right?
Yeah, but the loan is in my LLC name.
Well, my loans are in my name. It's my
okay.
personal loan right now.
Yeah.
Now, when I bought it, fine. But now I want to switch it to LLC. I don't need to refinance, right?
They can call the loan due because you're changing the deed. The deed is transferring from your name to your LLC.
The deed is transferring to the LLC.
Yeah.
Okay, but I can't keep the rentals into LLC because because if you're trying to transfer, that deed is going to be transferred to LLC. So then they can call the loan back, right? They can technically.
If you're changing your loan from your personal to an LLC, that is changing the deed, and in every loan that you get, and for
They
those
can
that are
call back.
leaving, thank you guys for joining. Every time the transfer, the deed transfers to the land, they can call the loan due. Is there a chance that they will? There is. Is it? It's like a subject to. Is it very likely? Are they having people checking deeds all the time? They don't. It is a risk that you take. But the risk is that they can call the loan due and say, "Hey, you transferred it to your business. Give us our money back."
Yeah. And also, if it is at a good rate, you will lose the good rate too.
Correct. Yeah. You're having to refinance. Yeah.
Yeah, having to refinance.
Yeah.
Where do we find a good accountant, CPS?
If you email me here again, I'll connect you with a good CPA.
Yeah, because I do my own taxes for now. I just need to find somebody. Yeah. I send you an email for the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Can you reply to that with that thing?
Yeah. Bill, are you CPA? Bill says, no, I'm a tax strategist. So Bill is here on the call, who is a tax strategist. I haven't heard Bill yet. So reach out to Bill. He is, if you want to save on taxes. Bill, are you CPA as well? Bill's on mute. Oh, well, Bill's email isn't there. I don't hear. Oh, Bill is coming off of mute. Bill, are you CPA?
Sorry about that. I've got two mute buttons going. Actually, I'm an enrolled agent, so my wife and I are licensed by the U.S. Treasury Department. We have all the same rights, duties, responsibilities as a CPA. We're just licensed by the federal government instead of by the state.
So you can for somebody stupid like me, so you can file LLC taxes for people.
We can file everything from a personal tax return to an LLC corporation. And because we're licensed by the federal government, we work with clients throughout the United States.
Awesome. Anything I said during this call that you might want to revisit or change?
No, I love your structure with the nested LLCs. Some of you may have heard of something called the series LLC, which is a situation where if you are doing something like Erik's doing, where you've got several operating entities going on, and say you find something that you want to act on quickly, a series LLC lets you set up that sub LLC very quickly without having to file with the Secretary of State.
Thank you, Bill, for that. I appreciate it. So for everybody that is, again, do your own due diligence. So also verify Bill. But if you want to reach, if you're looking for a CPA or you need a tax strategy, reach out to Bill. His email is in the note section. It's bill@yourrealestatetexpros.com. So I know it's tax season now, and your 1099s are due, and your what is that, Bill? BPI, or that filing that you now have to do is also up.
The beneficial owner reporting for
everybody
with an
so
LLC.
BPO,
Yeah, the financial crimes, actually Treasury just issued a press release yesterday. They've killed it off for all domestic companies.
Oh, it's killed off again.
And it's killed off again. It's a wonderful game of ping pong or whack-a-mole, but now it's off the table for anybody with a anybody that owns a US LLC.
Well, I filed it last year, and I guess I overdid it. But so for somebody that doesn't know what we're talking about, is I don't know if it was the previous administration or there was an administration that wanted to make sure that although that you already have given this information in some shape or form, the government wanted to make it easier on themselves, and you had to go to a separate website, fill out your portion of the LLC, and what your portion was, fill out your EIN number, your social security number, and blah blah blah. And the fee was up to $10,000, also $10,000 a day, with a potential that you could go to jail if you didn't fill it out correctly. And again, they have been going back and forth on this. It has been, like Bill said, a game of ping pong, and now it's off the table again. Last week it was on the table again. You can think what you think about it. I personally think, I'm already said it, that information is already out there. The government has enough employees to find that information. I think it's ridiculous, but I rather play it safe, because I also am here as a, I don't know, guest citizen, but I'm on a green card. I'm married to an American, so I didn't want to take any risk for myself. I definitely didn't want to end up in prison. So I filled out last year, but I don't agree with it. But that is my personal opinion. To be a little bit political here. So, any other questions? Thanks, Brian. Appreciate you. Thank you for everybody that joined. I can stay on longer if there are any questions. I see a few people already leaving, which is perfectly fine. You don't have to stay until the end. But are there any other questions from other people?
No, I don't. Thank you for your time.
Pippin, thank you so much. I'll see you soon again. And for those, again, if you're looking to network, TREIA main meeting March 13th. It's the vendor fair. Join us if you're looking for vendors. I will be talking twice for TREIA Rocky Mount, and for TREIA Carry Lunch and Learn. Elizabeth, thank you. I hope to see you guys there. Thank you for joining tonight. You have my email. I'll put it in there, the chat one more time. As you probably can tell, I'm an open book. I don't think there's any competition in real estate, because there's just too much real estate to be out there to have a competition about. Christopher might look at a property and say, hey, I'm going to do this way. I might look at the same property and say, I'm doing it this way. Neither one is correct or wrong. We both make money. So hope you can all help each other. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. Thanks for your time. Thanks, Christopher. Appreciate you. Bye, guys. Bye, Marianne.
Thank you.